The record's going, Bob.
All right, thank you. It's 10 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started, everyone. Good morning, Bob Madison here, Senior Associate Director with Minnesota State High School League and Tournament Director for football. See some very familiar faces on this call and also some new faces. No matter, congratulations. You made it to the state tournament for football. Want to recognize Shannon Foreman here in our office. Laura Mockentune in our office as well. They've been up late and up early here assisting with seating for the first time. So we got calls up to about midnight and then calls again this morning. Very well done, coaches, on getting your seeds in for the first time. Everyone was on time, all 48, so congratulations. Our 6A teams are joining us today as well, more for the information on state quarterfinal sites. Also want to thank Keith Cornell, AD at St. Michael Albertville, also on our board of directors, member of the Coaches Association, Will Wackman, AD at Spring Lake Park, also member of the Football Coaches Association, and Brent Shimmick, who is one of our board of directors as well, and a coach at Deer River, and a member of the Coaches Association, coming off as being an officer. All in our office this morning, assisting us as we looked at the seeds. And one last look at sites. We'll do the seeding last. We can go to that agenda there, Shannon. We'll do the seeding last. We'll start with 9-player when we get to that point. But again, congratulations. We want to make sure that you have a state tournament experience here, wherever you're going to be with our state quarterfinal sites. But please know that you are a guest at their site. You need to work with them. Making demands is not going to work, and we need more sites. With seating as it is, central locations are key. Some of you do have to travel further. We have far more flexibility if we have sites that are willing to host you on turf. So for our agenda here today, you're going to get to hear from Laura and myself mainly. We're going to talk much about the sites, also communication for your communities, things like tickets, management for yourself, and our host sites. 26 host sites hosting 28 games, I believe, this year. Expectations for your schools. And then we'll get to the seating from there. So at this point, I am going to turn it over to Laura, I believe, at this time to talk through a little communication, brackets, and then I'll jump back in if we can here. Laura, do you want to cover the brackets quick, or would you like me to do that?
You can go ahead if you'd like.
All right, so make sure that you know your qualifying participation team guide. A lot of really good information in there. We'll send the recording out to you as well. Brackets will identify home and away. All right, brackets will be updated around noon today. We have some adjustments due to times and such. We have a number of schools this year that are participating teams and host sites. So this is why we say TBD. We need some flexibility from you and your communities, and also allowing some flexibility for our host sites who are participating in the tournament as well. As we have questions that go on here, you can feel free to put them into chat. We'll get to all of those today as well, but let's enter them into chat. When your host sites call you today or tomorrow, as they're working through, please let them know what time you're going to arrive. You can give them a range, but don't arrive too much earlier than you expect. Otherwise, you may sitting there waiting on your bus or to get into the building or stadium. If you need things like power for huddle or for end zone cameras, things like that, make sure that you're aware. Ask the question on what's available to you. And that communication should come from your activities director, not the coach necessarily. Coaches work through your ADs. If you are one and the same, not a problem with that. Locker rooms, will you need them? Do you want them? Our forecast is pretty decent on weather. Some just like to stay outside at halftime and such. But what locker rooms are available? Do you want one or don't you? Number of buses that you're going to bring. Total number of buses for your team, potentially cheerleaders, potentially if your band's coming, so on and so forth. And then tickets and pass gates. So our host sites will share with you on how to enter the stadium versus a pass gate. Each of you will be getting 4 tickets. We'll talk about that a number of times in this presentation here today, but where to enter for your game. Some have stadium intricacies, maybe bleachers on one side, where the home team enters versus the visiting team. If there are intricacies, they will share them with you regarding their stadium, and make sure you pass that information on to your community. And then home and visitor seating, where is one sitting versus the other? Let's keep them as separate as possible. And for our ADs, making sure that your students and parents know where to sit. All right. A couple other items along the communication. Spalding footballs, other than 6A, each of you have received them already. Spalding footballs are required to be used. They are our sponsor here for the tournament. Press boxes are often tenuous. All right, the host site will let you know whether you're on top of the box as coaches or in the box. They're going to work with media as well. Work with them, understand who is in that press box. Games will be streamed on NSPN. We'll have more information on that as well. And online ticket sales. We need your communities, your grandparents, community members. They need to purchase their tickets online, digital ticketing. And that's been a number of years now. That should not be new. But if you're new to the tournament, understand that all ticketing is done digitally. Assist your community in doing so. Have parents purchase grandparents' tickets. Or if you have people in the community that still have flip phones, you know they're out there, help them get those tickets before they arrive. Otherwise, for the next several slides here, Laura, I'm going to welcome you to the conversation. And again, take it from there, Laura.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Good morning, everyone. And again, congratulations. The slide you're looking at right now is aimed for ADs and coaches. And ADs and coaches, this is where you will find tournament-specific information to help you prepare for your state tournament games. On your dashboard, number one, you need to be logged in. You will find a large blue button that says either My Sports and Activities or My School's Sports and Activities. Behind that, you will find a blue band that says football. My example here says hockey, but you're looking for football. And on the furthest right screenshot, that right column that says State Tournament Resources, that is where Shannon, Bob, and other folks in our office are putting all of those resources for you for the state tournament. And again, Shannon may email some of these out to you, but she is also very good at posting everything right in that number 4 spot. So when you are looking for a form, when you're looking for the recording of this, anything that is aimed at you as an AD or a coach, this is where you want to be to find those pieces of information. On the next slide, you'll see things that the public sees. These are out on this public side without logging in from the football page. And as coaches and ADs, there are things here for you also, but this is really where you want to guide your communities to. The blue buttons underneath state tournament information contain links to things like ticketing, schedules, streaming. In that area, those blue buttons will grow as we move towards state tournament time. Bob did mention previously that streaming, all of our quarterfinal games are streamed by NSPN along with all of the semifinal games. NSPN is a subscription site for $10 a month, $30 a year for that subscription. They are also doing a seating reveal preview show after this meeting, another thing to send your families to. That show is actually free at no cost. Please help your communities know the correct streaming link. We are seeing so many spammers and spam artists that try to trick people into putting in credit cards. So please share with your community that official streaming link and do what you can to knock down any others that may get posted on comments, etc., in social media. On the next slide, Bob also alluded to ticketing. Please, all tickets should be purchased online. All quarterfinal sites are using GoFan. GoFan is new to the league this year. It is not new to many of our Minnesota schools. So again, as your fans and spectators are coming to the game, if you are not a GoFan school, it might take a couple extra sentences and a little more explanation to help them with that. On our ticket page on the left-hand side right there, you'll see right now on our ticket page, it currently says things like 9-player quarterfinal at Grand Rapids. Later today, that will be updated and it will have the teams that are playing there. So you may want to hold off on pushing ticket information buying to your spectators until mid-afternoon today. simply because it will be more clear to them mid-afternoon today exactly which ticket they should be buying on that page. We have a lot of quarterfinal games, so that list of quarterfinal tickets is long. They are in order by date, so you'll find all the Thursday ones first, followed by the Friday, followed by the Saturday. But again, they will be updated with team names after this meeting to facilitate easier buying of those. On the next slide, just a reminder that each school does get 4 complimentary tickets. Those should hit your AD's email box on Monday morning. Those can be transferred to other folks. Again, they are GoFan also, so make sure that you plan ahead, transfer those to others. Those are really meant for those administrative reps who provide supervision at your quarterfinal site to assist you. State tournament apparel will not be at all quarterfinal sites. It will be at US Bank for semifinals and championships. It is available online. You see the website there to purchase that. The next slide has a quick picture of what that looks like. Again, Signature Concepts has been a great partner. Excited to have their apparel available for the state tournament this year. And then a final piece thinking about media. And again, you are not in charge of media. However, many of you have great connections with your media folks, and they often come to you first to say, how do I get to cover you at a quarterfinal football game? A reminder that this is a state tournament, even though it's held outstate, and all media, Shannon, if you could go back a slide, thanks. All media must be credentialed and approved. On our website, underneath Who Are You and Media is where media apply for those credentials. It is open until 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Those approved lists then get sent to each quarterfinal site. There is also the ability to have student media for football, as it is a team sport. ADs, you manage that for those student media. So again, you are not in charge of media. We just know that a lot of people come to you with this question. Send them to that media page online or direct them back to us. Bob, anything else you want to add on what I shared that I may have missed? Otherwise, turning it back to you.
No, very well done, Laura. Again, anything you can do to assist. I will say that your tournament apparel, if you haven't been in a couple years, your community is going to want that, especially their hoodies. So make sure that is available out to them. All right, let's keep moving here then. Been to a lot of games this year, and obviously football relies on video quite often using Huddle. Not a problem when you're using Huddle with your adults. Again, everybody, you're going to hear this multiple times, needs to be 7th grade or above on your sidelines or on the stadium field. So including Huddle operators, those need to be coaches and or adults. That is the only place in which you're using video for team purposes, for coaching, for Huddle. There are a number of people that are doing hype videos and or yearbook videos. I see a lot of video cameras out in the field. In fact, I saw it even last night or during our section tournaments. That cannot be for the state tournament. They have no access to the field, no rights to video content. That cannot be done during the state tournament at our quarterfinal sites or when we get to US Bank Stadium. No video cameras other than those that are in the end zone and or a sideline camera for Huddle and coaching purposes only. Please do not have to put our quarterfinal sites and their admin in a position to have to ask you out or have those people removed from your sidelines. All right, we'll keep moving here. And again, this information is recorded and will be sent out to you. Assist Shannon, you need to be her friend. Make sure you have the information in Wednesday prior to 8 a.m. with your admittance list, your phonetic roster. Our PEA people want to do a great job all the way through the tournament. They need to know how to say the names. Any sideline personnel, we'll have a form. We have the form for that. I'll get into who is allowed on your sidelines. Depth charts to assist once we get to TV especially, but also NSPN. They do a really nice job of streaming. And again, they want to do a quality presentation. Again, all of this information can be found on your dashboards, both for coaches and our ADs. If there is an ejection or was an ejection from this past week, or you have a student out do a chemical violation or a code of conduct, They may not be in your sidelines, period, for postseason play. All right, that may be different than during the regular season at your school. They are not eligible to be on the field. They cannot warm up. Could they travel with the bus or with your team? They could, but once they come into the stadium, they are not allowed on that field or playing surface. Football has some grace in terms of the number of people that you have on your sidelines. Other sports may not like that, but that is something that we have allowed for football, but there are still limits. Know what your limits are based on your class. And if you look at the next slide here, anyone above and beyond, you will be charged. We will bill it back to your school, and you'll have tags that will allow you to be on the sidelines once these numbers run out. We'll get you a tag, but we will keep track, and your school will be billed for any extra personnel that are on those sidelines. So please limit to that and know who's coming in with your team. If you have coaches coming away from your team, make sure that your host site knows that. If they do something else during the day and we'll get to your game late, make sure that they're aware of that and where they should enter, and find out where they should enter that stadium as well. All right, again, say thank you, please, to our host sites. Be a good guest. Do not bring any surprises to the stadium that they're not aware of. Have that communication up front. Things like headsets or headphones, it's not their responsibility to fix them. If they don't work, that is on you. It's not a requirement that both sidelines don't use them if one of the set of headsets goes down. Again, that is your issue to deal with on your team, and they're not going to be able to help you with either your huddle and or your headphones. If you're bringing in TVs for huddle or have something different or new that they're not aware of, that is up to you in terms of technology, including things like power. We're going to have what I'm hoping is good weather this week. Please don't use heaters if you don't have to. And also, if you are going to use heaters, ask if they are allowed at the stadium, what they would require to have under them or around them, where they're eligible to be used. Again, limit that use, but if you have to have them in different parts of the state, please ask if it is allowed and where those would go and what the requirements would be. We have water shut down in some of our stadiums. We will figure out a way to get your team water in some way, shape, or form. Ask your host site, will water be provided? Where can they fill it? Do you have assistance to get it out to your sidelines? Those types of things. Again, our sites are ready to assist you when it comes to water, but bring your own jugs, your own water bottles, so on and so forth, like you normally do when you travel for that site. Press box, I can't say it enough. It may not be everyone gets in or on that press box that you're used to, and make sure that, again, you're working with that host site. I'm seeing a question pop up on the number of athletes. The number of athletes, we're not going to charge you more for the number of athletes, but if they've dressed with you all year, they can be on that sideline. If they've been with you in sections, I would say they can be up on that sideline. Please don't bring your middle school team onto your high school team. That would be a violation to have a number of jerseys filled on that sideline. It's intended for who's been with your team. Again, press box, do not make that an issue at our host sites. That's one of the number one things that deters our teams from wanting to host, is who you want in that press box, especially when the weather is difficult. NSPN, following our coaches, has first access to that press box. They need their equipment inside. They need their people inside as well in order to do a quality broadcast. Again, I've said it before, number of buses you'll be bringing, where they park. Will you have cheerleaders, potentially a band, and what their role is? All right. Overtime. We had a couple of those exciting overtime procedures here throughout the tournament. Know what the rules are. Hasn't changed. Game-ended procedures. Make sure you have the conversation ahead of time. Many of your sites will do that pre-contest timeout or conference with the officials, sharing things like emergency action plans and such. But one of the things you should understand is the overtime procedure and what that looks like. Talking about behavior expectations, especially for our ADs, again, you are a guest in their stadium. You are responsible both for the adults and the student athletes in that stadium. All right. Work with the schools if you need assistance, if you need police, for instance. What is your plan if you have a fan or an adult that becomes unruly, what's going to assist there. Know what those behavior expectations are. Artificial noisemakers, horns, bells, whistles, anything else should not be in that stadium. All right, if this is something you've done at your site throughout the year, that cannot happen when we get into postseason. Please make sure, ADs, that your community understands the expectations when you're a guest at the state tournament. All right. Other than that, I'm going to pause here for a moment before we get into seating. Laura, Shannon, anything in the chat there that we need to address at this time?
I think we've answered all of them, or you've seen the questions, Bob. I think we're
All
ready
right.
to move on to seeds.
All right. 20 minutes in, that's good. We're going to do seating. We're going to start with 9-player. I would like to thank our Coaches Association for their proposal, trying to get seating done. We went with a 1-4 north, 1-4 south. We split that up by sections. I was a little surprised at the number of schools that weren't sure what north versus south was. Again, that was part of the proposal and part of the seating process. We'll try and do a better job of advertising that next year. It is on the schedule on the state tournament site. It was really only 1A that went 1, 2, 3, and 5 to the south, and 3, 6, 7, and 8 to the north, just geographically where that section is. I would say 9-player we need to look at a little bit. We just have more teams in central and north versus the south when we look at that. The other thing is tie-breaking procedures. That is a part of our state tournament seating protocol. That is available on the website as well. We'll do a better job next year of making sure you know what that tie-breaking procedures are. It's a little bit different for 4 teams, but we did have a plan for that as well. Otherwise, you did a great job. What I will be doing, starting with 9-player, I will start to the north with the 4th seed, working our way down to the 1 seed, and then we'll go back and share the pairings with the location. Times will be posted by noon today on the brackets. Be aware of that. And again, changes could occur depending on the host site, or if things occur at that site, we'll communicate to the best of our ability. Then we'll move to the south, and then what we will do is show you the screen where those seatings came up. Pause for a moment so you can see that, and then we'll move on to the class. So Shannon and Laura are going to assist me to make sure that I have it right. Otherwise, thank you again for getting your seeds in on time, and we are going to start with our 9-player seedings to the north. Our 4 seed in the north is Stephen Argyle. Stephen Argyle is the 4th seed. Our 3 seed in the north is Cromwell Wright. Cromwell Wright is the 3 seed, with the 2 seed being Fertile Beltrami, and our 1 seed, Mountain Iron Buell. Again, Mountain Iron Buell is the 1 seed, Fertile 2, Cromwell 3, Stephen Argyle 4. On to the south. Our 4 seed, Renville County West. Our 3 seed, Border West. Our 2 seed, Hills Beaver Creek. And our 1 seed, Leroy Ostrander, Lyle Pacelli. Let's show that, Shannon, here. So in the north, we will have Mountain Iron Buell versus Stephen Argyle, Fertile versus Cromwell. In the south, Leroy versus Renville, Hills Beaver Creek versus Border West. All right, we'll leave that up there as we head into Class A. Class A in the north. Our 4 seed in the north is Parker's Prairie. Our 3 seed, Deer River. Our 2 seed, Mahnomen Waban. And our 1 seed, Upsala Swanville. We will have Upsala Swanville versus Parker's Prairie, Mahnomen Waban versus Deer River. All right, on the south, our 4 seed, Class A, Lester Prairie, is the 4 seed. Our 3 seed is Springfield. Our 2 seed is Goodhue, and our 1 seed is Minneota. We will have Minneota versus Lester Prairie. For the 2 seed, we will have Goodhue versus Springfield. Question came up on seeding. We do not share for the state tournaments in any of our sports, just so you know, on the who seeded who. That is part of our policy at this time as well. Please note that. And we will move on to Class 2A. Class 2A into the north. Shannon or Laura, slow me down if I'm moving too fast. But 2A to the north, our 4 seed is Moose Lake Willow River. Our 3 seed, Staples Motley. Our 2 seed, Barnesville. And our 1 seed, Kimball. So 2A in the north, we'll have Kimball versus Moose Lake Willow River. Barnesville versus Staples Motley. 2A to the south, our 4A or our 4 seed is Triton. Triton is the 4 seed. The 3 seed is Norwood Young America. Our 2 seed is Jackson County Central. And our 1 seed is Chatfield. We'll have Chatfield versus Triton. We'll have Jackson County Central versus Norwood Young America. Onto our Class 3A. 3A in the north. Our 4 seed is Albany. Albany is the 4 seed. Our 3 seed is Annandale. Our 2 seed, Pequot Lakes. And our 1 seed, Fergus Falls. We'll have Fergus Falls versus Albany, Pequot Lakes versus Annandale. On to the south, our 4 seed is Holy Family Catholic. 3 seed, Fairmont. Our 2 seed, Dassel Cokato. And our 1 seed, Stewartville. Class 3A in the south, we will have Stewartville versus Holy Family Catholic, Dassel Cokato versus Fairmont. On to 4A. 4A in the north, our 4 seed is Academy of Holy Angels. 3 seed, Orono. Our 2 seed is Hermantown. Our 1 seed is Becker. Again, some sites, note that we are adjusting a bit. We try to do our best to predict. Also, times may change at noon again or around noon when those brackets are shared. Make sure that you check those. Dates will be there as well. All right, so again, we had Becker versus Holy Angels, Hermantown versus Orono. On the south side, yes.
Bob, just confirming what Shannon is showing, those sites are accurate. The brackets will be updated to match these sites that are being shown right now. The times of a few games will adjust. Those are not here and those are not on brackets yet. So exact times you'll want to check when brackets are updated.
Good, thank you, Laura. That's something that Keith, Will, and Brent assisted with this morning as well. All right, 4A on the south. Our 4 seed in the south is Hill Murray. Our 3 seed is Marshall. 2 seed, Byron. And our 1 seed, Totino Grace. So we will have Totino Grace versus Hill Murray, and we will have Byron versus Marshall. All right, on to 5A. Remember, this is it. We have 5 classes that seeded as we did. 6A has their own bracket, as you know, with 32 teams. On to the 5A class and seeding to the north. Our 4 seed is Monticello. Our 3 seed, Alexandria. Our 2 seed, Robbinsdale Armstrong. And our 1 seed, Elk River. We'll have Elk River versus Monticello. We will have 2 seed Robbinsdale Armstrong versus 3 seed Alexandria. On to the south, our 4 seed, Cretin-Derham Hall. Our 3 seed, St. Thomas Academy. Our 2 seed, Chanhassen. And our 1 seed, Owatonna. Owatonna is the 1 seed versus our 4 seed, Cretin-Derham Hall, our 2 seed, Chanhassen, versus our 3 seed, St. Thomas Academy. All right, again, we are recording this. We will send this out to you. We appreciate you being a part of our planning meeting here this morning, as well as our seating meeting. Great job by all of you to get your information in. Work with your host sites. Be a good guest, please. Let's continue on with the great season. Thank you to Shannon and Laura. Thank you to Will, Brent, and Keith for their work this morning. Again, we'll work with the Coaches Association on recommendations and/or feedback from our first year here, but we're going to continue to move forward. Let's have a great tournament. I'll see you at a game, and as we continue on to get to US Bank Stadium for the semis and then the Prep Bowl. This will conclude our meeting here this morning. Great job again. Look forward to seeing you at a game. Thank you.